Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 7 of Chrome Cardboard Podcast. I am Gareth Smith and I'm joined by my usual co-hosts Steve and Kieran. How are we doing on another warm day here in the UK?
I'm good. Very warm, as you say. But yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, we're getting
What
there.
about yourself, Steve?
Surviving the heat. But yeah, how are you doing? You good?
All good. Off work for the rest of this week, so what is not to love? But
Nice
another week of reveals have been and gone. So today's episode we're going to talk about some of those reveals, and then we're going to talk through some of the artwork we've seen so far and why each one has kind of resonated with ourselves. So without further ado, let's go on to talk about the card reveals. I will edit this bit out. So our first card reveal, which is revealed as of today, is a 3-cost 4-ram program, which means you need to have 2 red units to play it. It's Appetite for Destruction, it has Gang Attack, and it has the ability, the next time a friendly unit wins a fight by 3+ power this turn, it also steals a gig. Now, this fits very nicely in what Red's trying to do, is swing big units and steal gigs. So what do you think about this card, Steve?
Yeah, I think it's solid. I think it's really solid. I for the cost of what this does to, clear out the board, potentially, keep the board clear on your opponent's side, and then also advance the win condition. It feels really solid. As long as you can get up to those bigger units, make them stick on the board, I think it's a really good card.
And what about yourself, Kieran? Obviously, Red is all about, as I say, big units, swinging hard. Is it going to affect that decision if you're going to try and block, if you've no other views this, with a blocker?
Yes, definitely. I think it's a really good card. As you just mentioned there, blockers. So we spoke a lot about the 2-cost jump blockers, which people going to throw down to alleviate a bit of attack pressure. So this now makes you think twice about that, doesn't it? Because you block with that, you're still losing the gig. So I think it's a really good card. It's a nice addition to Red. I'm excited to test this one out and see how it works.
And I think that's what makes it quite interesting, because if they swing it, say your unit that you want to desperately keep, and you in the past you just automatically go, blocker, go! Instead you're now kind of going, actually I'll lose a gig here if I do that. So it kind of... And it also means if you've
better unit and keep the gig. So.
And it adds that mental choice that you have to do. And also as well, it's also like, if they've only got a blocker down and you swing at them, it's pointless them using that blocker, because they're taking the gig anyway. So it kind of...
What do we think on this being double red? Because I think that's a slight drawback, but also I think it really fits perfectly with what Red wants to do. So where do we sit on how it with it being double red? What do you guys think?
I definitely think it should be double red.
Yeah.
I think it suits Red. It's good to be double red, but I do also think it takes it off the card. He just loses a bit of versatility, doesn't it? So
it's really interesting for deck building choices. I think, like, obviously, like a deck like red yellow would love this if you were even in double yellow, but obviously you can't do that because of the deck building restrictions. So I just find it really interesting on like how you might build your deck if you want to play a card like this. So
not for sure. I'm looking forward to that. The 4-2 combinations you can come up with and seeing what cards fit. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to with Cyberpunk.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's also, obviously, with these restrictions, is making deck lists more and more important than ever, aren't they? Like, because the fact of the RAM restrictions, it doesn't half lean into that. But no, let's move on to the next card. We have a 2-cost green program. It is 3 RAM, so it does require those 2 green legends. It is a Merc. It's full on the hill. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. A rival chooses whether you can add them to your hand or trash them. If you trash them, draw 2 more. Kieran, what are your thoughts on this one?
So originally, I wasn't overly fussed on it, but rereading it and a bit of convincing from Steve, I do actually quite like it now. Started looking at it again. I think it works perfectly in a trash occasion deck. You get your 2 cards, and then whether they go to trash or hand, if you've got the means to get out from your trash, it's a win-win. Really, you're getting them one way or the other. It's sellable as well, which is nice. So yeah, I quite like it. I'm more sold on it now than I was originally. So yeah, I know Steve likes it, don't you? So
yeah. Whereas I'll be honest, I'm one of these who thinks I would rather sell this than actually use it unless I'm desperate for card draw. But Steve, I know you're a bit more positive on it than myself. So over to you.
I just think it's just pay 2, draw 2, and I think like putting your opponents in that position of like you reveal 2 really good cards, but like there's no like you if you're running 3 cards, that we've all seen in card games when all your cards come together. So like even if they put 2 really good cards in the trash, it might be the same 2 cards on top anyway. So it's like I just find it. I just don't see the downside to this card in any way. And then obviously you add in that you can get stuff back from the trash. Yeah, I just think it's a really solid inclusion in that sort of strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm selling this.
Fair enough.
I mean, the draw of 2
Gareth
cards
just wants Hulk smashed to the face, don't
you? I just think any card that says draw cards is always good. Like,
yeah.
It's hard not to be good.
Next, we're going to talk about another chump blocker, as Kieran said earlier. We have a 3-cost, 1 ram, augmented negotiator. It's an Arasaka. It's Corpo. It's a blocker. It's got 2 power. Is there much more I need to say to that, Steve?
No, I don't think so. Really solid card. The additional effect as well of like when it uses block and make them discard, I think is really solid. Can really, if the discard becomes a really solid archetype, I think this will be included in most of those decks. Like just stop a big attack. Oh, also you have to discard. Again, perfect for that sort of strategy.
It's basically, and bearing in mind, you can choose if you're blocking with it if they are swinging for gigs. So I think that's where obviously it adds that extra layer to it. I think where you go, okay, fine, just discard that 1 card you've got in hand. Not sorry. Kieran, what are your thoughts on augmented negotiators? This one that will be seeking its way into your decks.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think it's a really good blocker card. I think most of the ones we've seen, these little blockers, are all 2 cost, aren't they? I think you pay the extra cost on this to get the ability, which I think is definitely worth it. Getting someone to discard the cards is always great. Less cards in your opponent's hand, more chance to have it winning the game in general. So yeah, I'm a fan of it. I think it'll be fine its way into any yellow decks I run.
So. I really like the idea of playing this turn 1, flipping it like when you're on the draw, playing this turn 1 because you've got 4 resources to play with. Play this, flip a legend, and then the next turn you've set up ready to ramp with the Sapphire card. So I really like the idea of doing that, because I think your opponent will really think twice about swinging in for gigs if you sat there with a card that's going to make them discard. So it allows you to.
Go on.
No, it allows you the time to ramp comfortably and then get really ahead in the resource game, going into the mid game and then into the late game if you're playing like an Adam Smasher, for example.
Yeah. I was just going to add on, especially that early in the game as well, you don't want to be discarding cards, because your odds are you've not drawn that many either. So late game, it's not as bad, but early game, you don't want to be discarding.
Exactly.
And it's one of the only positive is if you have got one of those big units that you're struggling to get to, because you're looking at your hand early and go, I've looked at the resources, get that out of your hand early, and you can always get it back from your trash later on. I think that's where something like this does. You can use it for your benefit a little bit, but either way, you don't be dropping card size down unless you truly have to. Our final one is jacked in Voodoo Boy. It is a 2-cost 2 ram unit. It's a net runner. It's a Voodoo Boy. This unit cannot attack unless you played a programmer's turn with 2 power. Kieran, what do we think of our jacked in Voodoo Boy?
I don't really care for it that much, to be honest. I think it's in a contender for one of the worst ones we've seen so far. I mean, I just don't really see the point in playing this in the deck at the minute with the cards we have revealed. There's better options that are not limited to you have to do something to then attack with a 2-power character, and you can't even sell it because it's a unit, so I'm not a big fan of it. But, yeah.
And that's the thing, Steve, when you look at this. The fact that it's only got 2 power, you'd hope for an ability like this you'd get a sizable power bonus,
body.
Wouldn't you? So what are your thoughts on this?
Body. I just think these better cards to play. I mean, the tags are quite nice. I think Netrunner could have some really powerful implications, but it just depends on what we get. But yeah, I mean, imagine this brick in your hand early on, so you've just got loads of voodoo boys down, and then you have to play a program to even get to attack. Like, it just doesn't feel like the drawbacks worth the including this in your deck. It really just doesn't feel like it'll ever see play. There's just better cards to put in that slot.
It doesn't even trade positively into a 2-cost blocker, does it? Sorry,
no.
It trades equal. It just kind of.
It just dies to a 2-pot, like a corpo security, for example. So it's like, I'll play the program, I'll attack you with me 2 attack, and you're just like, well, I'll block it with me corpo security.
Yeah, it's just not efficient. Nah.
And it's not like
I mean, that's terrible to do that, by the way.
Gear on this. It's also you don't want to be loading this full of gear either, do you?
No, I just don't see. I'm interested to see if people can get this. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think in the late game, if you flooded the board and then your opponent's like, "Oh yeah, it sounds you've just got loads of 2 attackers," but then like you manage to get their blockers out the way, and then you go, right, well, I've played the program, attack for 2, attack for 2, attack for 2, take 3 gigs. That could feel really good, but that situation's Magical Christmas Land. Like, we're not gonna get that ever, really. So yeah, there's just better cards to play. He really is.
Yeah, very much agreed. So that's obviously all the reveals, and now we're going to start talking about cards that the artwork particularly we like, and we'll start off with yours if that's okay, Kieran. You've started off with the Rebecca promo. Why have you chose this one?
Why will I not choose this one? I think this is the best artwork we've had period so far. I am obviously a fan of the anime and a big fan of Rebecca. Also, the colours just pop for me. Really vibrant colours in there.
So vibrant.
A nice mixture of colours. It's got a nice foil finish on it. I think when you mesh all that together, it just makes a really beautiful looking card. So yeah, that's my number 1 pick at the minute. It was the easy one for me.
I mean, I think at this point, Kieran epitomises really what Chrome Cardboard's all about, and it's that shiny cardboard, baby. That's what we're here for.
More Chrome, the better.
And we are all a fan of shiny cardboard here. So.
We are indeed.
So
we are indeed.
What are your thoughts on this card? Like,
I mean, it's probably the clear winner for best art in red at the moment. Probably best art overall. I mean, I can't really fault Kieran for picking it. It's a fantastic looking card.
Your next choice, Kieran, is in yellow. It's a bit of a surprising one, really. It's Kuroshi Optics, which is basically an eye. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you chose this one?
I just like the artwork on it, and I'm quite into artwork with with just an eye, for example, or like in on a body part like that, and it's just highlighting all the little bits in it. Like, you can see all the little colours in it. You can see the little chip on the bottom. See the eyelashes. All the intricate details around the eye, which you don't generally see in a lot of artwork because it's not focused in on that much. I just think all the colours again mesh really well together, and it's just stands out nice and clean for me. So yeah.
And Steve, obviously the realism on this is phenomenal.
No, it is. It doesn't feel like artwork for a card game, really, does it?
No.
But I like the one thing now, like when Kieran was speaking, then I'd not really looked at this card too intently, but like when you look at like the shadow, like the eye really pops, doesn't it? Because like it's like dark on the outside of it, and then like the middle of it's really bright. It's actually like, yeah, fair, good pick.
Thank you.
And then we move on to your green choice, and is the headshot of Goro. What is it about this one that really resonated with yourself?
I think it just looks really badass, to be honest. I like the portrait cards that they've got so far, and in general in TCGs I quite like a portrait card. And I think the colour on this, like nice dark moody red background, then his hair kind of blends into it, and you got a bit of pop from the eyes. He's just, the stone face on him. I think he just looked really cool, and it's the one that stuck out for me straight away from Green when I went through the list. So I think it's one of my top few favourite artworks in the set so far, I would say.
And Steve, what are your thoughts on Goro's passport photo?
I actually really like it. I agree. A bit of a spoiler, Kieran took my pick, so I've had to choose a different one for Green. It's definitely the best artwork in Green, I think, so yeah, another good pick from him. He's clearly got good taste.
Yeah, and I think it's the highlighting of the eyes, I think is what looks quite cool on this one.
Yeah, it makes it pop.
Doesn't have to make that pop there. Your third choice is a fairly new addition. Well, your fourth choice, sorry, it's a fairly new addition, is Mox Inciters, which obviously we talked about last week. What is it about this bright neon raves looking scene with someone with a baseball bat that has you interested?
Pretty much what you just said. It is nice bright neon, and it's got the rave scene. It's got a couple of good characters in there. I just like to think the artwork's a bit different than some of the other cards. It just stands out a bit more. It just reminds me of the game and playing through the game and doing all the nitty gritty of Night City, and it just gives me that kind of vibe and feel to it when I look at it, which I like. I massively enjoyed that aspect of the game. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons for it. I like the Mox girls, shall I say? So yeah.
And Steve, obviously, what is your thoughts on this card? Is this one that jumped out to yourself when you saw
it? Probably not in the same way it did for Kieran. This is probably, out of Kieran's picks, the worst one for me. Not to say that it's bad, it's just not my style of art. It's quite psychedelic looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sending me a bit west, not gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, the art in this game is fantastic. Like, from what we've seen so far, like, to say that it's probably the worst of the bunch, it's still a really nice piece of art. So
very much so. So obviously that's Kieran done at this point. So let's see what your choice are, since obviously this was the worst of the bunch for Kieran, Steve. Let's start off with yours, and no surprise, it is the card you mentioned every single week. Mantis Blades. Why Mantis Blades?
I mean, whoever that person is using these Mantis Blades, he knows what he's doing. Look at him. He's a guy that you want on your team. So it's just a cool artwork, isn't it? Like, he's just absolutely taking that guy's head off. So
I think it's when you look at the blood splattering on that as well. Like, literally,
it's
you
fantastic.
just see.
Yeah.
Honestly, and there's basically
they've not held back, have they?
No.
Yeah, they've just not held back with the art.
And sometimes in games they can obviously hold back a little bit. Kieran, what are your thoughts on this one?
I really like it. It's a good choice. If Rebecca wasn't in red, this may well be my top choice. So I like the blood spatter, as you mentioned. The different tones in there, the way you can see half of the head's just like gone. It just looks really cool. So yeah, it's a good choice. It'll look nice in the foil.
Yeah, and it'll be a card we're going to see every time you play against
absolutely love the flavour text as well, by the way.
One cut, one kill.
One cut, one kill. Like, it's just what Mantis Blades does, baby, man. It's just so good.
Yeah.
They are. And so let's now move on to your yellow choice. It is Jackie Wells' Ride or Die tune. Obviously, a fan favourite character, Jackie Wells. Why did you choose this card in particular?
Yeah, when we were speaking before about Goro, like the portrait cards are just fantastic. Like, they're so detailed. I actually I just really like, again, how vibrant this is. Like, the background, like, for Goro is really dark, and it really like suits his personality. And I think it's the same with this. Like, the colour they've gone for the background, I just think the card looks fantastic. Yeah, it's probably one of my favourite arts through that we've seen so far, to be honest.
And Kieran, what are your thoughts on the Jackie artwork here? Like
Again,
anything additional on us?
Yeah, it's a really nice card. Like I say, portraits I like. I'm just looking at this zoomed in now, and I really like the colour differentiation on the ears and around the top of the forehead there, which I've not really noticed before. But yeah, it's really nice and vibrant. Good choice.
And then your green is a fairly recent reveal as well. Wasn't it this last week we spoke about this one?
Yes.
And it's so bright. Very detailed action kind of shot this time. Very different than the still tranquil side headshot. What is it about this one?
I like how much is going on in this one. So obviously he's hanging out the side of the van, but if you look behind him, he's clearly just he's leaving some sort of explosion behind, which I find really interesting. It sets a massive scene, or it is that they're driving towards it. Sorry, so whatever's going on in front of them is there's just a massive fight, which is obviously what Cyberpunk's all about. There's a lot going on between all of the different. Yeah, literally, I just really there's just so much going on in the card. It's just there's just a lot happening.
And Kieran, obviously, this, as I say, does encapsulate what you see in the game. There's lots of fighting in regard to drive-bys and all this kind of stuff. What do you think about this one with that Saul hanging out?
It's nice. It wasn't one of my topics, so surprised to see it. But it's a nice card. I like the background colours, and like Steve just mentioned, the explosion in the background adds a nice bit of colour to it. I think it's a nice solid card overall. Another good pick. But there's that many different artworks in this game, which is just so nice as well.
Honestly. Yes, your final one, Alt Cunningham. Interesting looking card, this one, quite theatrical in the styling. What made you choose this one?
I just think it's so thematic. I think it really perfectly encapsulates what a Netrunner is. You look at this card and you she's clearly not she's clearly jacked in, is the term. And I just think the artist has done an absolutely fantastic job with it. I think it really sets the tone of who Alt is, for anyone that's played Cyberpunk. So yeah, it's just I don't think it's the most vibrant card we've seen. I don't think it's particularly colourful or anything. I just think it really encapsulates who Alt is as a character, and I think it's really perfectly executed.
So Kieran, it's kind of like the opposite of yours, where yours one was all psychedelic and bright, whereas this is quite grey in comparison. What do you think of the choice being made?
It is. Funnily enough, it was one of my top ones as well. Probably two of the top ones. Completely different cards, flavour-wise and art-wise, but I really like it. I think, like Steve mentioned, the lack of vibrant colours really suits the card, and it all gels together great. And like you also said, as soon as you look at that card, you can get an image and you can put yourself, see what's going on and what Alt's up to, and she's jacked in and what's going on, whatnot, as soon as you see the card. So yeah, solid choice from Steve there.
Thank you very much.
So let's now move on to my choices. My choices, I think I've gone a little bit rogue with some of these. My first one's 6th Street Recruit. For me, it just looks like the kind of picture you'll see on an old person's bedside table. And I really like that, oddly. It's the best way to describe in this image. It literally looks like some old Vietnam photo, or that some guy in someone's wall. I don't know how to explain it other than that. I really like it. I just think it looks like a proper old photo.
Another portrait art. Clearly we've got a theme between the three of us that we like the portraits.
Very much agree.
Kieran, what are your thoughts on my old man photo?
It wouldn't be my go-to one personally. It's as an artwork, it's nice. In general, I'm just not really big into Patriot style artwork and that kind of thing. So this one for me just doesn't really do it. But I can get the vibe in an old person bedside so.
is the best way to describe what this is. But then we move on to my next choice, which is in yellow. We mentioned earlier on in Mantis Blades, they weren't they didn't hide detail, and this card is very Dexter. Best way of describing it. This scene is just gore. Kieran, what do you think on cyber psychosis?
Now this one I can definitely get behind. Yeah. This is a really a really good looking card. The blood spattered everywhere, face, the way he's got the arms arched back like he's, angry at the camera or whatever he's looking at, and he's like, come on, do you send the next? Like, that kind of vibe it gives me. And then the nice little colours in the background on what looks like some sort of computer systems. But yeah, I'm a really big fan of it. A good choice on that one.
Yeah. And Steve, obviously I know you're a fan of the card itself, but what do you think of the artwork in this one?
I agree. I mean, any artwork with some Mantis Blades in, I'm all in. Honestly, I'm all in.
It's the key to his heart.
Honestly, just some Mantis Blades, just one cut, one kill, baby. That's what it's all about.
If you're watching this, just get him Mantis Blades for his birthday this year, and he'll be happy. He might get arrested, but
Yeah, 100%. Just walking around with two massive knives connected to my arm.
They look like scythes. They should just be like, yeah, it's fine. My next one is in green, and it is Nadia fighting through grief. I really like the shattered glass look to this. I can imagine this foiled to look even more spectacular.
Yeah. That's a good
what are
shot.
your thoughts on this card, Steve?
Yeah, no, I think do you know what? It's probably the most unique artwork, like across a lot of the games that we've played. Like, there's not really stuff like this. So actually, I think they've done really, it's actually a really good pick from you. What you've just said about the foiling, I think you're spot on. I think if we see this card in foil, I think it'll be sought after for collectors. I know I'd definitely want a copy.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Kieran? Any thoughts?
I agree. Yeah, I think it's really nice. And like you both say, in foil, it's going to pop really nice. It just looks really good. Just the cracking, the X in there as well. The face, the expression on the face, the white background with the red popping off it. It just looks really nice from top to bottom. So top choice there.
Honestly, and then actually my final one, I originally was going to have as this, but I've changed my mind last minute.
Oh wow!
So, another card has jumped into my head at the very last minute.
Is it going to be worse or is it going to be better?
I've said to go to page 2 and I'm still on page 1 apparently. We're just adding a bit of suspense here to everyone. Good work.
Oh, brilliant.
There we go. There we go. Are we poised? Are we ready? My final choice is actually Placide.
Okay.
This one, again, it's the full... It was one that obviously I originally thought about and I was originally adding, and I changed my mind last minute. As much as I like the dragon, I actually want it to be on a card. I actually think it's good as well, whereas I don't actually think the card's that great. I just like the art. I just quite like the artwork in this one. It looks like, obviously you don't want to be trying to get past this guy. It's quite easy, looking quite intimidating in it.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, really encapsulates to Placidas again. Another portrait card from us, by the way. Just like, there's definitely a theme. We do.
They're doing a good job on them.
I like the background. I like the background art of this. Obviously, he's clearly stopping people from going in, isn't he? You know what I mean? There's a little party going on in the background there.
Yeah, you're not getting past him unless you've got an invitation.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And what about yourself, last but not least, Kieran here? What is your thoughts on my last minute alteration?
I like it. I actually prefer this than the one you altered from, so good choice there. As Steve just mentioned, then the background art section is what really pops for me. You can just see, the illuminated cross, the lights coming down.
Yeah.
There's obviously people there, partying or going to jail, whatever they're doing there. And he's just sat there like, yeah, you're not welcome here, so on your jog. And who's going to mess with that guy?
You'd have to be slightly nuts, wouldn't you, to mess with him? But that is the final card. Overall, though, Steve, do you want to talk about us through what your thoughts on the artwork across the whole collection we've seen so far is?
Yeah, I mean, it's the art so far, like, that we've had revealed is, like, all being brilliant, in all honesty. As I say, these and that's what's really interesting about card games is, like, we all like the art, we all like to collect our own pieces and our favourite pieces of art in it, because that's ultimately as well what the game brings, is, like, all of these different, like, perspectives on things, and, like, you know, we've all got our own opinions on what we think is the best art, so it's always nice to talk about it. And in all honesty, they've not let us down at any point yet, just yet. Even the one that you just changed from, the more I look at that card, I've just got it on my other screen, it's fantastic. Like, the dragon in the back is so detailed, and that's, like, and as Kieran said, it's not his favourite piece of art that we've seen, and that's just, like, it's all difference of opinion and stuff like that. But, like, yeah, I just think the art in the game's fantastic. I can't wait to get these cards in our hands and actually get to see what they feel like and what they play like as well. So, yeah, excited.
Kieran, obviously each week we see more and more cards being revealed as well. How much you look forward to seeing future reveals to see if there's anything that's going to top these?
Nothing's going to top Rebecca. I'm just going to put that out there now. But in terms of the coming out work, yeah, I think we're just going to get more of the same, which has been excellent so far.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think they've done a really good job of capturing the game and the anime. You know, it is very vibrant and there's lots of neon and flashing, but it is also very dark and nitty gritty, and there's a lot of violence in, you know, Night City, and I think they've merged all that into the cards and they're showing that amongst all the different cards. I think they've done a really good job on it. So yeah, I'm excited to get these in hand and actually look at them in hand. It'll be good.
And obviously we're getting closer and closer each and every day, which obviously more and more exciting. Obviously more and more reveals will happen over the next few weeks. But obviously thank everyone for watching and listening at home. We will be back again soon with another episode.
Yep.